please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome back to a Megon 2 Electric Boogaloo. I know this video is a bit later than usual, for that I'm sorry. Also stripped back. Time constraints on my part forced me to make a main channel video first, as it was a more, let's say, hot topic. Yes? Today we're going to be responding to a video shared about via Twitter. I actually don't remember who it was now that posted it, but I have it. Concerning a teacher who has taken sick leave. How different from the usual stuff we go through.
School teacher, and I'm currently out on sick leave owing to injury in performance of job-related tasks in the workplace.
Well, I'm certainly very sorry to hear that you have suffered an injury at work that was undoubtedly not your fault. You may find, because you're in what I believe to be the United States of America, you can partake in one of the favourite pastimes of the current generation and many before, the lolsuit. Not a lawsuit, a lolsuit. You'll understand why those that are watching soon enough. I should now of course insert a disclaimer. Teachers, like any professional in any work environment, should be protected to an extent. And I say to an extent because I don't care so much about the teacher's feelings. You are not there for your feelings to be front and centre, which is very selfish. You are there instead to make sure that those that come after, the next generation, are as well prepared as they can be to be better than you, which undoubtedly will be brought into question soon enough.
Caused by classroom transphobia and homophobia.
Wait, what?
Caused by classroom transphobia and homophobia.
You've taken time off because you couldn't control the class enough to stop them from being horrid to you, so much so that you were triggered by the problematic actions and attitudes of the classroom you were in charge of, perhaps disrespected because they look at you and think you might not be what you say you are in their eyes. Now, I hadn't realised you were trans or homosexual, not in the slightest, but I was intentionally trying to avoid using gendered language, a point I make in very many videos on this channel, to try and negate the "you must respect my pronoun" nonsense. I don't have to. I can just skirt how I choose to address you to make it easier to be direct to you, because using pronouns doesn't come up in that conversation when I'm direct, does it now? In a classroom you have a lot of people. You need to be a force of nature. That's what a teacher needs to be. An unbreakable will, which you don't have. You must be resolute and ironclad. You must be a fortress they cannot penetrate. That includes your mind. If you can't do that, then you are not suitable for teaching material, and if the school hired you for any reason that wasn't your qualifications, chances are it was because you ticked DEI token qualification territory nonsense. Token would be your name.
Owing to my own beliefs and opposition to the school-to-prison pipeline.
The term school-to-prison pipeline, or SPP, is also known as the school-to-prison link, school-prison nexus, schoolhouse-to-jailhouse track, is the disproportionate tendency of minors and young adults from disadvantaged backgrounds to become incarcerated because of increasingly harsh school and municipal blah blah. That, typically, in the context of this, is a reference to ethnic minority folk, okay? I do not know where this individual is to know whether or not there's any truth to it. I know it exists though, and I do not believe it to be mythical, because there are issues in each individual state when it comes to those that are impoverished not being given the same opportunities in the land of the free. You know, that place that's somewhat ironically named when others go to your country as the American dream, a thing to aspire towards. Apparently to aspire towards it is to avoid the lowest common denominator and corn syrup.
This is a complicated situation.
Well, what you need to do then is explain it so that others, the oikoi, the plebeians, and myself, can understand it. I mean, this video is 3 minutes long, so you've got plenty of time.
Particularly because it is directly related to my gender identity and sexuality and homophobia in the classroom.
Oh, so you're just going to make a baseless accusation then, and it's baseless in the context of you not providing so much as one citation to back up what you state. Okay, well, I'm going to listen and believe for the time being, and later on, because you'll prove nothing, no doubt, I'll dismiss it all as an assertion. Continue.
But I just wanted to make it clear that it is because of the state takeover of Providence Public Schools.
Does this mean you're in Rhode Island? Is that why you're conveniently sick then? When apparently you're not, you seem to be protesting instead. This seems less like you taking sick time and more you taking leave because you can't handle not getting your own way, along with not being able to control a classroom, essentially boiling it down to the following: you are an inept, incompetent idiot who could not possibly run a classroom if your life depended on it. But I could be wrong. I mean, it's always possible I'm wrong. That said, if you can't control a classroom and you don't like how the state is governed, you should probably do something about it. Peacefully, of course, and legally. Or just do what others do and let's leave the state entirely and go and find the right echo chamber for you.
And because of policies enacted by superintendents and the state commissioner of education at the Rhode Island Department of Education, which have resulted in 2 hospitalizations for me.
Would you look at that? I got it right. Victory is mine, I shall sip from the keg of glory. I'm very proud of myself, okay? My Google foo is on point. You're a part of a state that is known for being a part of the Blue Wall, a safe seat for any Democrat since the 1920s. Legitimately, yet you're not getting your own way here. So you're protesting in your own quaint way by taking time off sick because you can't control a classroom, because your feelings, because of intolerances within a party that is also known for intolerance. It's remarkable, really. The party likes to champion itself as being progressive, but actually is remarkably regressive. And yes, I'm going to crap on any party I want to. Red, blue, green, yellow, purple, brown, I don't care what colour your party is. You're all getting a pasting.
Owing to violence against me as an LGBTQ plus community member and as a unionist.
Well, that's interesting because your current Mr. Joe Biden, had tweeted about the word union recently, saying he's not afraid to say it. I found that somewhat ironic that he'd say on Twitter, or his handlers would say on Twitter, he's not afraid to say it, when, quite frankly, his inability to speak at all would lead me to believe that he may not be afraid to say it, he just can't say it. Unions terrify people. I wonder why. People should vote for No Lives Matter. Honestly, you'd all be treated so much fairer under me.
And so as a Providence public school teacher and a member of the Providence Teachers Union, I come forward to say that this state takeover has been tremendously transphobic and homophobic.
Based on what I've been gleaning from information about the Providence state takeover for education, and the fact this is going to be continuing for another 3 years, your baseline for things like mathematics, percentile and, well, passing, was horrendous before the state takeover and is horrendous after the takeover. No one seems to be doing very well regardless of it. The children are the future and boy, you guys are all failing. I'll link a couple sources down below if you're interested in reading about it.
To me as an employee and to my students as members of my classroom. And I fault everyone in leadership responsible for elimination of key positions in faculty that were responsible for my safety in the classroom.
I'll be honest here. The responsibility of your safety is important. You're 100% right. But based on what I was reading about your education system in that state, it's dog shit. It isn't any better with this state education either. Your systems are broken, quite frankly. So you being safe seems a bit redundant when the children aren't even getting a baseline of good education to begin with. And this is a Democrat-held and very much safe state. You want to blame somebody, blame people further up who are failing. Blame those that represent your state, who are not doing enough to help your state. I don't see blame as conducive or useful, but if you're going to do it, you may as well go there, rather than blaming those who are trying to fix it and not fixing it. Because they're at least trying. If you want to feel safe in a classroom, of course, help needs to be there for that. But I'm not sure what kind of help they can offer you beyond a soft padded cell or a Zorb that's soundproof.
Particularly the dean position, which was vital for my safety in the classroom prior to the elimination of the position. And it is absolutely certain that my injuries would not have occurred had the state takeover not initiated a campaign of concerted effort to bust my bargaining unit, the Providence Teachers Union.
What on earth are you talking about? Firstly, the position of a dean is no guarantee of safety. If they need to save money, they're going to get rid of what is considered excess fat, or a redundant position that may not be required if the management structure is changing. I firmly believe in a universal curriculum and that same application for education, but as that's done on a state level, the state is the problem. Your curriculum and how you structure it is on you guys. A dean may not be required if the state is having to intervene in the first place. I assume you want this to be a federal level as opposed to state level. Is this the same teachers union that filed a lawsuit against the mother of a 5-year-old because they requested a copy of the class curriculum? Yeah, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. I'm fully in support of the majority of unions when it comes to workers' rights, but apparently you guys are frivolous and a joke, and my Google foo is on point today. I'll link that down below as well.
The entire leadership that was originally brought in by Governor Raimondo to govern this state takeover was trained by Jeb Bush's Teach for Change school privatization think tank.
So for those who don't know, Gina Raimondo is currently serving as the United States Secretary of Commerce. In 2021, she assumed that office after serving as the 75th governor of Rhode Island for 6 years. The current governor is Dan McKee. Dan McKee currently supports the RIDE in the education state takeover for education anyway, that is, all those fancy words, commending them for their work to create programs and support systems, and has invested an additional $1 billion of state money to try and help. So I guess even your leadership support this, even if it's not benefiting you. It's interesting really, isn't it? We're all learning today. Again, you're taking time off because you're a dosser, not because anything's actually happened to you, and I say that because you've not shown or proved anything beyond not being able to control a classroom as an admission of guilt and uselessness.
And it is directly because of policies they learned at Chiefs for Change and in other school districts nationwide that I experience workplace injury.
Oh, okay, so it's not the fault of the Democrat Party that run the state, or anyone there that is supporting RIDE that you don't like, or getting ratted out for being in a union and there not being a dean to protect you from the heinous children of tomorrow. No, it's the fault of Jeb Bush, so essentially a Republican. Okay, we're doing this, are we? Fair enough. I see the level we're dealing with. I'm starting to understand why your education system is so low on the ratings. Yes. Congratulations, Snowflake.